My name is Rex, and I'm a May 2024 IB student who did, for my SLs, English Language and Literature, Spanish, and Chemistry. And for my higher levels, I did Math, Applications and Interpretations, I did Music, and I did Business Management. I study in Hong Kong, and I still study there right now as of now. So I speak English, 我是讲广东话，我也会说普通话, y yo también hablo español. I see myself as quite a curious person, so I think I do a lot of things. In sports, I like to play tennis, and I like tenpin bowling, which is more unconventional. Outside of that though, I still think that my current studies are also my passion, because I have a passion for change. So what I currently do is, outside of just my schoolwork, I do a lot of business, case competitions, to help me with understanding kind of the intricacies of how the world works, and to advance my understanding of kind of the world's developments. And I also work on a couple of different projects, such as a tech startup, tech projects, stuff like that as well. So for me right now, what I believe is really impactful and drives change is business and the intersection of that in technology. So right now, my current career path is heading towards investment banking and finance, because I believe that it is in this industry that you get exposed to the most amount of content, whether it be new biotech advancements, new technology, all by getting the business processes done. So regarding, I think, my IB achievement, which just for the audience as well, was a 45. I think even till now, I still believe that a major element of it was luck in my favor. But when you step back a little bit and kind of think about the overall overarching bird's eye view of what's really going on in IB, you start to realize that by worrying about the score and your achievements, you really can't do anything about what happens because it's just a number. What you can worry about is what you can do to prepare for getting that number, and what happens after that is what fate decides. But there's a couple of things that I helped to mitigate these kind of situations, which was approaching it with an attitude of not memorizing and not doing it for the sake of doing it, but really trying to think about the underlying drivers of what I'm doing now will help me in the future. Not think so much about the present in terms of like it's repetitive, it's doing it again and again and again. I think going into the IB, it was in late 2022, so Dojo didn't actually exist. So for me back then, I think the studying method was still quite murky. There's a transition between going into early secondary school and high school and university as well, and finding a good way to study and kind of manage my time, and my revision was really, really important, which is when I think my high school friend, Michael, who's one of the co-founders, talked about going into Dojo, which is why I was also looped into Dojo. So in late 2023, I joined Dojo as a founding associate who directed business development to oversee kind of the business going beyond just an idea and kind of making it commercial. So that was my role. Dojo was not just another app for me. One thing that Dojo really emphasized for me, that really helped me with the process of IB, was getting to know the huge community of founders who are really passionate about studying and making studying easier for everybody. Dojo's edge is really in making studying for students, by students, because the team and my experience with the team is that everybody here had really good experience with the IB program. The question obviously is kind of how I use Dojo in the early stages, right? Which is, I think for me, had a unique element of Dojo, which I was using and giving feedback on Dojo and kind of the features that could be added at the same time. The really big thing with Dojo back then was kind of having the AI critique my answers and giving feedback on whether I thought the feedback was accurate. So that was how I used Dojo as a tool for helping me with directing my answers to see whether they're accurate. The big part about studying, I think, that really helped me throughout the IB process was having someone there as my support system and having people there next to you who were going through the same things that you were, which whether this be in the form of Dojo, having that team, or just having your friends to support you. So I think wrapping up all that I said just now, having finished the IB a year ago, I can give two big tips to everybody going through the IB right now. The first thing is to relax and enjoy the process. I think a lot of people had a lot of stress, a lot of anxiety, and a really negative attitude when it came to the IB. So my first advice would be to relax and enjoy. Take the IB as your bridge between high school and university and beyond. My second point is really to look beyond the score. IB is such a fantastic time because it gives you a lot of opportunities. Everybody thinks, including me at the time, that CAST, TOK, EE was really useless. It was just another requirement for passing IB. But the reason why IB has these requirements and why the IB gives you time outside of studying and really encourages you to think is because that's its main purpose. And don't, put too much hate on the program, your teachers, all the assessments, and go with it through with a smile. Because I've never looked back at a thing with a frown that I thought was good. And lastly, of course, join the dojo. Can only help you. Oh, shit. All right.
That's great.
Sounds good?
That's great.
Okay.
Sounds really